gods and mortals meet. Legends rise from ancient stone. Heroes' fates are yet unknown. Travial, where the echoes call. In the night the darkness falls. Through the storm, through the flame, heroes rise to carve their name. From the ruins of the past to the battles that will last, every choice a path to tread. In this world where fate is led, Travial, where the echoes call. In the night the darkness falls. Through the storm, through the flame, heroes rise to carve their name. Through the trials, through the pain, destinies in blood are stained. Magic weaves the threads of time. In Travial, where legends glide. Travial, where the echoes call. In the night the darkness falls. Through the storm, through the flame, heroes rise to carve their name. So gather close, the tale begins in Travial, where the dark wind sings. Join the fight, take up the call, for in this world, heroes rise or they fall. Where the echoes call, in the night the darkness falls. Through the storm, through the flame, heroes rise to carve their name.
Thunderbirds are go.
Yeah, welcome everyone to the Travial Planar War. My name is Ruby Mad Hatter. I am the DM, and we have our various wonderful party here with us tonight. All right. So where we left off last game, what happened last game was you guys had successfully made it to Firewing Outpost. You succeeded in sneaking into the place. You ran into some sort of weird creature in your safe house, which proceeded to eat your dinner.
Yes, everybody was very sad, and
Yeah.
then very intrigued, and then very scared.
Very scared. So there was that, and after dealing with the creature for a little bit, you guys went to go interact with the school, try to find out what you could. Belle made an appointment with someone to further research what her class abilities are about, and her further research her class. Hedon took a few minor jobs around town. Things of that nature. And Draha and Cedric have made arrangements to go visit her family before you leave the area.
Mostly because if I don't go see them, they're going to come see us, and that's going to be a bigger issue.
And then, of course, the issue with Sylvana has been resolved. She's now allowed to freely walk around the town. And in return, you guys got to meet the Lord's wife. So you got to meet Lady Kobo.
Mm-hmm.
And all of her shenanigans involving that. Okay, there it is. So you got to meet Lady Kobo. She said she'll look into things and see if she can't figure out what to do in order to help you guys get into Itagai, but it will take a couple of days. And then you were brought to a room to be questioned by a gentleman who came in a little later than you guys did. And he had scales on his skin, like he was almost part dragon, but the scales were glittery and like seemed to like they were made from like fine body glitter. Um, and like he had very much like a purplish blue tint to his skin. And he had a lot of books, and he was talking to you all, and he did ask a few questions, things of that nature. You brought up the creature you saw to him and asked if he had ever seen something like that, and he replied he would have to check his notes. He did make also the comment that if you try to lie to him, he will know. But didn't say how he would know, only that he would. So there is that, and you did get his name. His name was Munthrek Arcanus. And that's where we left off, is when he gave his name. So with that being said, it is time for anybody with history to make a history check.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. We know who that is.
Oh yeah.
Not I.
Not my best.
A natural one, and it's still a 19.
Still 19.
God
Yep.
almighty.
I don't think Sylvana does not have history.
I don't have history either.
Could it just be a straight knowledge check?
No, you actually have to have history in this regard.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah, you guys don't know who this guy is. You don't have a clue. It's definitely, the name sounds familiar, like the tip of your tongue is there, but you just can't put your finger on it. And he just looks at you all and goes, "You're a most interesting collection of people, and you refer to yourselves as the Balladeers."
I literally just point to whoever actually named this, like, not my choice.
I'll take all the credit.
Personally, I was rather wanting to name us the fabulous and fabulastic extraordinaires.
Which is
But
why we went with the other
idea
name.
was to down.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful, so no worries. Either way, you have all been very enlightening, and I do have to confer with my colleagues about a few things. But based on what I've seen so far and the information you've garnered, you're well on your way to being useful.
How so?
I am not able to go into details at this time until my colleagues and I confer with each other about this.
What colleagues? Are other professors here? Or you don't look like any of the professors I've seen here.
No, I am one of advanced education, knowledge, and magical ability. I teach the advanced students.
I've heard no one speak of you. Because you are rather unique looking.
Yeah. Belle, by the way, you noticed that he just said, "I teach the advanced students of various subjects, including knowledge." Which, your investigations of the school, you remember that some of the advanced students disappear and reappear later.
And I was a little flippant about it.
Yeah. So there is that. But he just kind of looks at you and goes, "Well, you have all been very interesting. I hate to keep you contained here for much longer, if you'll excuse me." And he'll like gather up his books, his papers, things of that nature. Anybody looking at his paperwork can give me a perception check.
I'm trying. My computer's being stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There's definitely something going on with Vel.
Yep.
And it's pretty obvious.
All right.
And Thankfully, nobody's taken it as being very threatening, but
Alright.
yeah.
So, Draha, you'll notice that there is a lot of writing on the pieces of parchment he had next to him, but you notice that it's in a multitude of languages, and he didn't really write much, but the ink on the page is actually still fairly fresh.
Welcome to a world of magic. We just saw an auto pen.
Are you talking to somebody as well as us? As I look specifically at that sheet of paper and him.
He goes, no, I use magic to take notes.
Then why is it in multiple languages?
Because I think in multiple languages.
Okay, that's fair. How many do you know, out of curiosity?
He just looks at you and just blinks and goes, and he gives off a number. Now, the DM, Ruby, does not know the number. But to give you an idea, give me an intelligence check, everybody. It's not going to be a high one. Oh, Belle got it. V didn't. Draha did.
Of course we didn't get it. V's not very bright.
Right. Rye didn't.
I am looking for intelligence. I can't find it.
You just click on INT. There you go. All right. No, Hedon didn't get it. All right. So the number he gave was every country's language, every race's language, and several magical languages. And then on top of that, there's like a few extras.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's every known language and some I don't know.
yeah.
He's a show off.
No, like, she asked him a question and he just answered matter-of-factly. Like, you could tell there was no ego in that answer. He just answered the question.
Do we get
Blank.
vibes like we might be dealing with the professor version of Sherlock Holmes, especially the Benedict Cumberbatch?
No, not the Benedict
Depiction of
Cumberbatch
him?
ones. It's more like this guy just knows a lot, and like you get the impression that he has a vast knowledge pool behind him. But
He's Albus Dumbledore.
I wouldn't say Dumbledore. It definitely gives the Sherlock Holmes vibes, but not the Benedict Cumberbatch version.
Okay.
Like a guy that just knows a ton of shit. But may not always be the best at being social.
For
Yeah.
me, Jeremy Brett will always be the definitive Sherlock Holmes.
That's a good one. I will say that very much so. All right.
40 years later, and it still holds up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good one.
But you do see a variety of languages on there. Some of them you understand, some you don't naturally. And for the most part, it is notes on the various people here. Almost like he was, from the bits and pieces you're picking up, Draha, since you get the highest roll, it was almost like he's analyzing the balladeers.
I will, and Draha not being the smartest of the bunch, intelligence-wise, but wise, look at him as like, what race are you, out of curiosity? Because you don't match anything I've seen.
He thinks for a moment, goes, the term I believe that has been colloquially coined for my race is spell scale.
Draha would not recognize that.
No. One person in the party does, though, and that would be Belle. Spell scale start as another race, and they imbibe draconic blood into them, essentially, like not drinking it, but the essence of it, and they in part become part dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So less half dragon and more like they get slight bonuses to like intelligence, charisma, their like mental stats. They get a little tougher scales, but not by much. It's like a +1 natural armor.
Uh-huh.
And they suddenly get a stronger affinity for arcane magic.
Yeah, they're draconically enhanced, kind of like some of the races are enhanced by various other planes or elements.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because I had
Yeah.
never seen someone who looks like you.
Sahir has a few of them, but they're not common.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to become a spell scale requires a vast alchemical knowledge.
Yeah. Glances over at Sylvana, glances away, though nobody can tell.
Yeah. So there is that.
Sorry if it was off. I've never seen
No.
someone who looks like you, and it was a curiosity more than anything.
He goes, it's quite all right. You had a curiosity. You asked a question. I answered it to the best of my capabilities. As long as you learn something, then it's a positive result. Now, if you'll excuse me, and he will leave the room. Thing is,
Something's
you guys
weird about that man.
You guys don't like. You see him leave the room and shut the door, and then suddenly you don't hear footsteps going down the hall like you did before.
He's magic. He could have teleported.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's something weird about him, and I don't know what it is, but it makes my brain do the twitchies, and I don't like it.
Are you looking around the room while you're saying that?
Yeah.
Anybody looking at Belle?
Yeah.
They don't see her. You don't see her too well, because you know that dark miasma that usually accompanies Miss Daae when she's manifested. Yeah, it's sort of encompassing Belle right now.
Hey, Belle?
The door that,
Belle? Are you there, Belle?
And it's like the people that are sitting closest to her is like they just hear a little bit of a labored sigh and a little bit of humming, and yeah, it eventually clears away, and it's like I hated so much about what just happened. My apologies.
So
You
Lana
okay?
will kind of like lean over
Are you-
towards Belle and be like, "No, is there something the matter?"
Are you okay, Belle?
There was just a lot happening at once. I'm not good with interviews.
I
Eh.
see.
There's a distinct side eye to Hedon and Jose, but I'll be alright though.
Rai will just give her a hug, because, he cares.
Yes.
If it's a
So-
system,
Though this feels very much like I would be highly surprised if we aren't being if he, whatever he is positioning us to oppose agents of the path. But aside from that,
That is a very real possibility.
it's just something about him. Also, there's just something I know, but I can't quite place it, and I hate when that happens.
Fair enough.
Indeed. Well, you have an interview with a professor. So why don't you, me, and Rai go take care of that? Hedon said he had a few tasks to accomplish in town. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to take the others and go take care of that, or is that something you have to handle by yourself?
It would probably be quicker if I went by myself, maybe with one other.
Okay. And then she'll look at...
I've been volunteered.
Is the other me? I bet it's me.
Yes, my dear, it must be. Your charms are unquestioned, your beauty astonishing.
Someone who can talk.
Who
And
wouldn't want you by their side?
There was a lot going on at once there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Green.
Grab the charger filter. Indeed. Whichever one guy wants to take, whichever one Hedon wants to take with him, fair enough. That would leave, I guess, Draha and the rest to go find us a place to stay that isn't the safe house anymore. Do not get me wrong. I'm glad we were there and able to get into it. But I very much like a bed that doesn't feel like it's made of rock.
Oh, really? I'm very, very sure that the mattress I was in may have more than just me in it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to stay at a nicer place.
I know of a couple inns in town. Let's go. We can go to one of those.
All right.
Plus, I have to go visit my parents tonight.
Okay, is that something you want to do by yourself, or do you want the rest of us to come with?
If the rest of you come with, it means I can't kill my older brothers.
I think murder is kind of a bad idea, especially of one sibling, so,
I
yeah.
have
Somehow-
every reason to be for utter hatred of them, but I don't want to kill them around my parents. But if they open their mouths, I cannot guarantee what my temper will do.
So we're all going there for dinner then.
Because if I don't go there, they come here, and that's going to be more awkward.
Yes. That sounds appropriate. Oh, hopefully this won't be too long for me. I also have a few things commissioned I'd like to pick up soon.
Yes.
All right. Lady V, would you like to accompany me?
I would like that very much. Thank you.
All right, well, we're off.
Excellent. Alright, so you guys head off, and let me see, who is Bell meeting off the top of my head?
Oh, there were 3 professors.
Oh yeah,
2 of them had to do with planar stuff, and one was the professor of the monk stuff.
yeah, Jolnalia Lightbelt, Kaylee Lene, and Nizu Fiddlepitch.
Fiddle pitch. I'm just like, that's a fun word to say. Fiddle pitch.
Yeah, Fiddlepitch was the monk.
Mhm.
So, so the question then becomes, which one do we send you to?
Yes, that will be up to you because
Okay.
it's like, should be fun either way.
All right. So you go to your appointment for the professor, and there is in the room is a gnome woman. She is probably late middle-aged. It's the best way to describe her appearance. Like you can see some gray appearing in her dark hair. Like the vibes she's gonna give is kind of like the Professor McGonagall vibes.
Except fun size.
Yeah, except like small.
Not that I would actually say that to her.
Yeah, no, that would be.
You don't say something like that to a lady who's given McGonagall vibes. No.
Yeah, no. But in the room where you have something that small, you have something very large. You see what looks to be some sort of like bizarre, almost kind of like a mixture between an ape, like a four-armed ape, and like several celestial traits to it.
Okay. So he glows and has wings. Maybe
No.
he's feathered instead of fur.
No. In this case, it's still fur, but the fur is like lighter color, and like whenever the light hits it, it tends to keep the light in it.
Ooh.
Kind of like, so like whatever, like if you were dealing with like a sunset, his fur would take on like a more orangish glow to it.
Ooh. Pretty monkey.
Yeah. And he is picking up books off the desk for her and placing them on the various shelves with his forearms.
All right.
As you enter the room...
While I, the player, know what you mean by forearms, me, the character, really would love to make a remark about him having four arms.
As you enter the room, he will turn and look at you, and you will see that he has 6 eyes, and they're all they're all just looking at you, and they have this like faint yellow glow to them as he just gazes upon you.
Okay. And because I've been on a plane's mindset. Nice little primer. Ooh, 29.
Yeah, that's impressive. He is celestially like flavored, but you can tell this is an Eidolon.
Oh.
Yeah. So based off of that, you can now make a fairly good assumption that the only other person in the room is likely the summoner, which would be the gnome.
Ooh. Well, aka the class that you initially suggested that I look into that led to me looking into the spiritualist because I wanted to speak with dead. And unfortunately, the summoner didn't have that on the spell list.
Yeah. So the gnome will kind of like slowly look up. She'll smile, kind of like that old, kind of like wizened grin in a way, and she'll go, "Ah, children, come in. I'd very much like to see who I am talking to. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be." And as she says this, the four-armed monkey kind of like snorts in a like amused sense.
Okay. We are dealing with a far more intelligent than one would assume being. Okay. And is this like a desk that she's sitting at or something?
Yeah, she's sitting at a desk, and there's like several chairs in front of the desk. She has like 4 or 5 chairs, so wasn't certain how many people were showing up.
Ah, okay. Which begs the question. I know that there's likely Ryan Silvano with me.
Yep.
Is there anybody else? Who wound up with Jose?
I think it was...
I'm just going to get an inn for us for the night.
I think it was Draha and Jose in one group, the thruple in a second group, and Hedon and V in the third group.
And poor Jose all by himself.
No, Jose is with Draha.
Ah, okay. It's like I keep randomly adding Cedric into the mix. My apologies.
Yeah, no, and Cedric.
Have fun with that, Draha.
Yeah, it's Draha, Cedric, and Jose in one group.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
As soon as we're out of the room and Jose's looking one direction, Drawhawk takes off the other way.
Aww.
Cedric's gonna stay with Jose because someone needs to keep an eye on him. All right. So the gnome kind of smiles at you and goes, "Hello, my name, excuse me. My name is Janaya Lightbelt. It's a pleasure to meet you. You may refer to me as Professor Lightbelt if you wish."
Ah, bonjour. I am Sister Annabelle Lee, serving Amuketna. It is a pleasure to be able to speak with you.
Yes. I am told you have several questions about various planar things.
Yes, well, it mostly refers back to, well, if I recall the details about the summoner. Uh, hmm. Well, I have in my investigations, because I have an archaeological bent in my service, I have had an experience that has left me with a subconscious companion of my own, and I am seeking, well, ways to understand the nature of that connection. Perhaps, well, allow me to, a moment and I will introduce you. And Belle goes through her little ritual of counting to 3 over and over to manifest Miss Daae in her ethereal form so she can cause less trouble that way. And goes, "This is Miss Daae."
Hey, how interesting. Not quite a ghost, but not quite a summon. How peculiar.
Yes, there are many ways that it simply would have made sense for her to be. There are so many ways that she should be a ghost and an undead, but, well, I am as a divine servant of Amoket, and I have certain skills of dealing with such beings, but none of them reach her somehow.
Interesting. And she kind of like leans forward, giving like a very like focused look right at Miss Daae. And she'll turn and look at the four-armed monkey, and you'll see him suddenly just like the four-armed ape, and he'll start like going through the books and like looking at one, putting it back, and so on and so forth. It's almost like he's looking for something in him for a moment. Eventually he will pull a book off the shelf, walk over and like hand it to her, and she will crack it open, lay it flat on the table, and kind of like slowly flip through the pages and go, "There have been others who have reported such things. They are not frequent, but they have shown up often enough that it has garnered the attention of most countries to develop some sort of policy involving it."
That's strange, but I was genuinely convinced I had something new when the head of my order basically assigned me to perform further research and to report to her my experiences.
Oh no, do not get me wrong. Your particular aspect is newer. It's fairly new, in fact. I've only gotten reports of 2 other instances of it. But we have found that there is another source of magic out there that has been surprisingly in recent development, that does not fit into the arcane or the divine.
Yes, I had intended to study on the more arcane side of things, and what little I knew, I recognized that this nature of our connection and some of the powers that I have garnered through it are definitely very different.
Yes, the powers. This new form of magic seems to be empowered by emotional states, not necessarily study or bloodlines or connections to divine beings.
Yes, part of what I was curious to research in, well, the only other known practices are either through various lines of monk aesthetic practices, which involve, well, control, or its polar opposite in barbarians who are ruled by their rage, to say the least.
Studying both aspects would honestly, I believe, would be a benefit to you, as there will be moments where you'll have to let your spirit, as it were, go and immerse themselves in their emotional state. And there are times where I believe that this spirit will need to be contained. Now, I will say that the power in question that we have discovered, spirits were not involved per se. In this case, it was one instance was an elementalist who was able to manipulate the elements around them in a more raw and primal sense. And the other one was more also dealt with spirits, but in a different way, where you manifest your spirit and your spirit comes to you in acts. The other one we have discovered speaks to spirits, can have the spirits become part of them. And, you know, almost in a way of like becoming the bridge between the land of the spirits and the land of the prime material. Yours seems to be more almost like a conjuration, similar to what I practice, which is summoning and conjuration magic. It's a similar practice, but different application, where the person I'm speaking about is more of divination. They see things, they hear things, they can interact in a different way.
I see.
Yes, we don't quite understand where this new source of magic came from or how it started to develop, but we have asked some of our sister schools to help us look into this, as it is important. The Sahiran Magical Academy has been not forthcoming on it, as they see us as competition.
Not surprising.
Several other magical schools in the world that are smaller have reached out to us, but they tend to know less than we did. Only one school has been very forthcoming, but access to them is how do I put this?
Limited at best.
Limited at best, yes. They do make it difficult to get in touch with them.
And Belle is like, and who is this?
She looks at you and kind of like judges you for a moment. She's like investigating, kind of figuring things out, and goes, I'm not sure as I could speak about them at this moment, as it is something that Lord Kobo has made an arrangement for, and it is not something that the common student, let alone a visitor, is usually permitted. They come and they look for students of exceptional ability.
Oh yeah, and this I you there's the professor is going to notice a distinct spike in tension from Belle, as even and Miss Daae, as Belle's pretty much is this the grade that you were speaking of?
Oh heavens, no! They're those are mercenaries, not academics.
Ah, good.
No,
I've had an experience with them, and I am not fond, to say the least.
most are not. They do have a what's the word I'm looking for? I want to call it an embassy, but I wouldn't say that is the correct term for it. In Firewing, that they maintain a small contingent in. But for the most part, they keep to themselves.
Fair enough.
No,
Well,
in this instance, it's a school. But like I said, I would have to look into whether or not you would be given permission to contact this school, as they are the most advanced school that we know of.
ah, I see. Well, if there is
I believe you did.
any reading to...
Sorry, I apologize for interrupting. I do believe you actually interacted with one of them. Amarius Rush. He is one of their students.
Ah, yes, he did speak of research and his connections. But if I may, if there's any materials that I could borrow for a day or two to study, I would greatly appreciate it.
Of course. Arsec, can you be so kind as to hand me that blank book there? And like you see the ape kind of reach and grab like a leather tome that's about similar size to what she pulled out with the information. And you will see her pull out a wand, tap it on one book, tap it on the blank book, and both books will glow for like about a minute. And then once the glow fades, she will slide the book over to you and go, I always encourage young people to read and become more learned whenever possible. Here, allow you to have this copy of the book.
Thank you very much.
Yes. It'll be yours to keep. I do not need you to return it.
You are most generous. Though, since you have an interest in the field as well, I have been keeping a journal. And so, if you don't mind keeping certain personal details to yourself, she'll pull out the journal that she's been keeping and allow her to repeat the treatment. Or she can keep a copy for herself.
Yeah, she will take that information, she will nod and go, I'll read over this and then make modifications to the text to remove the personal information later, so that way I can share it with my fellow professors and we can further analyze this information.
Yes, my more formal treaties and whatnot I've been sending to Essentia, who is the head of my order.
Indeed. Oh.
Thank you for your time.
It was very much a pleasure to meet you, young lady, as well as the other two young people, as she points to both Sylvana and Rai.
Yes, well, it's like I poke to see whether or not Rai's still awake.
No, I'm
Yes,
awake. I was just listening. confused,
we-
but I was.
Like,
We've
Rye-
grown rather attached.
Yeah.
Rye sitting there like, those were words, right?
It's like I don't understand anything. With the hell tent, he's like has that hell tent. Like, what is going on?
Probably been watching the giant monkey with a great interest.
Yeah.
And like Sylvana's trying to keep up with the conversation, but you guys were talking about like high level spell casting stuff that just is above what Sylvana knows.
Yeah, it's a different field.
Yeah, so like Sylvana's sitting there going, like she only has a plus 8. She only has a plus 18 in knowledge arcana, so she was able to keep up with the conversation, but there were points where she lost you both.
Yeah, it's like I am talking cosmology, where she's like, I'm a chemist.
Yeah, I'm a fucking chemist. What the hell?
Yeah, that's yeah.
All right.
And off you
Well.
go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
Guy,
Yep.
all right. The jobs you have on the side, they're very small jobs. All right.
Correct.
So you're able to accomplish them and you can have V help you if you want, or you can do it by yourself. They both take about the same amount of effort.
Now, which jobs are you referring to?
You took a couple of jobs from your guild, like minor ones.
Well, they was very specific jobs dealing with lycanthropies.
Right. And there's no lycanthropes in the city, but there are some outside. But you know that you won't be in town long enough to accomplish those particular jobs, but you were able to find out where they are.
Okay.
All right. So like, you know where the lycanthropes are, things of that nature. You can send someone else to go handle it, like directly, and give them like very precise instructions. So what instructions would you give to someone if they were going to finish the job for you?
Basically tell them that I'm rebuilding a nation where all of lycanthropy can basically live in harmony, not be afraid of persecution, do what they enjoy in life, whether it be trade or whatever, open up a shop, just not have to worry about the persecution of the outside world.
All right.
Not
So-
necessarily a closed off world either, just,
So you're trying to build like a lycanthrope village, essentially.
basically.
Okay. And you've probably picked somewhere in your home country to arrange this?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll give them like the location of where you want this village to be, so on and so forth. And they will pass that information along to those lycanthropes.
I have people there, waiting. That way, anybody that comes, they know what to do and how to do.
Right. You have the start of the village, but you don't have. You want it to grow. Got it.
Yeah, it started. It's just I wanted to grow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So in this case, the your guild, which is normally known for killing people, will go. We'll send one of our more social members to go have a chat with them, and then we'll leave some bodies behind to make it look like we killed them, and they won't be hunted down.
I'm good with that.
Yep. All right. Awesome. So, Draha, you are able to find a tavern. All right.
Okay. I used to live here, so I've got a relative at least idea of where there's a decent inn.
Yep. All right.
Hungry beggar?
In this case, it is known as soon as I get one that doesn't look like shit.
Oh, please. No, I know exactly what I'm finding.
What are you finding?
Where's the one with the orc and the pink apron?
Oh God.
I'm doing it.
All right.
I know it exists.
Yep.
I used to live here. I am finding that particular inn.
All right. So you find the Dragon's Ale House. It is run by two people, a dwarven woman and a big orcish gentleman who is in a big pink apron, who is the cook.
I know him because he lets me cook sometimes.
Yeah. So you make arrangements to stay in the Dragon Ale House, and you state that you're not going to be there for dinner tonight because you're going to go visit your family, but you guys will need breakfast the next day. Room arrangements, because remember, Draha, you're the one setting up this. How many rooms do you acquire and for who?
The throuple, the couple, and everybody else.
Okay. Fair enough. So 3 rooms. Got it. So you guys all meet back up in the village square. Everything has been accomplished, and Draha goes, It's time to go visit her family.
Let's go get this over with.
Yep.
Should we clean up first?
Yeah, we'll be fine. They don't care.
Yep.
Very well.
My family's not the most hoity-toity of people.
Yeah.
This is the point where she points to Miss Daae, the perpetual grump.
Yeah, both my parents are clerics. She's not gonna irritate them.
No, but they may, see an undead and go, gone.
Well, she doesn't. If they are like ghost and react that way, simply by looking at her. But if they try to do like the whole detect undead and whatnot, they aren't. She's not going to register.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're not trigger happy like that.
Yeah.
They don't tend to be, given one of them, my father is the same cleric to the same god I am, and my mother is to Shayla.
Fair enough, I guess. If nothing else, she is beautiful in her own stark way.
I almost kind of want her out just to watch my older brothers piss their pants.
and it's at this point you actually see Miss Daae have like this wicked little grin just before like she does like the whole I'm gonna look at this other thing.
And I completely ignore it.
All right. So you guys head out of the city, and you go out into the countryside for maybe a couple hours. It's almost like half a day travel. And you come across, I wouldn't say it's a small farm, but it is a moderately sized farm. It is not a commercial farm. This is definitely a family farm, but it has several houses.
Okay.
Draha leads you to the more centralized house, and Draha, you'll notice there are 3 additional houses here that you do not remember.
Like, that's probably dipshit 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. Cedric will chuckle and ride ahead of everybody because you guys are on horseback.
Yeah, it's the only way we would make it here and then back to town in time. On foot, it would take half a day. On horseback, it takes like 2 hours.
Yep. So like, the sun is still in the sky, and it's still like not quite night or sunset, but you could tell like you could probably have a meal and head back by the time the sun is setting.
Fair enough.
Go in, say hi, introduce everybody,
Yep.
suffer through dinner, and get out of here.
Cedric will rush, like I said, rush ahead. He is smiling. He's happy. You'll see him quickly dismount and go straight into the house, and you'll hear shouting and laughter and basically happy noises.
And you just hear Drawha grumble, going, "Breathe and plaster a smile on your face. You'll be fine for 2 hours."
At this point, you will see a gentleman come walking out, and the gentleman is human. All right. He is a little bit over 6 foot tall. He's definitely got some muscle to him.
Both the parents were also ASMR.
No, remember, your father was human, your mother was ASMR.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the only time you see Drawha actually crack a grin and then suddenly tackle him.
Yeah. But he's a little over 6 foot. He has like dark colored hair. But you can definitely see that Drawha is his daughter, like by like facial features and things of that nature.
Oh yeah.
But he is, for a cleric, he's pretty beefy.
Notice that when Drawha tackles him, he throws her, and they immediately start wrestling.
Yeah.
And laughter
Belle's like,
ensues. You hear Drawha laughing her ass off through this entire thing.
Belle shrugs and is like, makes sense.
Not Drawha. Sylvana's gonna lean over to Belle and go, "I believe this is the happiest we have ever seen her."
Indeed. Aside from when she's cooking.
Yeah, indeed. Out of the house comes Cedric, and following behind Cedric is a woman who's about close to Belle's height. I would say about 5'7". Her hair is the exact same color as Drawha's, like that flaming red. You could see
It looks like copper.
but hers looks like copper. Yeah, it looks like it's actually made from copper, but it still flows and moves. She has like bright, like amethyst color eyes, and you can see that she is not like well muscled. She's more like the more feminine kind of build.
Wiry.
Yeah. But she has a friendly, motherly grin, like smile on her face. She goes, "Ah, both of our wandering children have returned." And I see, Drawha, you have
So I
brought...
successfully pinned Dad.
No.
We're not gonna see any rolls about that?
I mean, we can try, sure, why not? Let me roll a d20.
What do I need to roll?
A d20, and you add your strength. Yeah, no, he...
Damn it, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 20, not including his strength. So, she smiles and goes, "I see you also brought friends. Come introduce yourselves. I know my daughter is not always the best about introducing the people she knows."
I'm getting better at it, Dad.
Oh no, that's your mother.
No, I'm telling Dad when he gets me pinned, it's like, I'm still getting better.
So she looks around and goes, "So who's going to introduce themselves first?"
My name is Hedon.
Ah.
I'm Rye.
Right. Ah, and it's a guy in.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, we are near Firewing Outpost, so that happens more often than it used to.
Miss Daae looks down imperiously at her, and Belle goes, "Bonjour, I am Annabelle Lee. Everyone calls me Belle. This is, my companion Phantom, I call her Miss Daae. She's mostly harmless right now.
She likes to scream at people when she gets annoyed, but that's about the extent of it.
Interesting. And then Sylvana goes, "My name is Sylvana Frostfire. I'm pleased to meet you." And she goes, "Indeed. Pleasure to meet you as well." And then she'll look at the cat folk and go, "And you too?"
Hi, my name is Fee. This is my husband, Jose. I'm happy to meet you.
I'm pleased as well. Thank you.
Indeed. My lovely wife is so delightful with her introductions. I need say no furthermore.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna need to make significantly more for dinner then, with this many people.
May I offer a hand, or... wait, do cat folk have hands or paws?
Hands. You have hands.
Then may I offer
You're
a
immediately going to
hand
grab
or
her daughter,
two?
going, "You're going to go help make dinner."
Yep. So Draha's gonna help with dinner. Jose offered to help, which she'll accept. And the gentleman will go, "Well, we were gonna have to make sure we get the other 3 siblings here."
And she just looks at her father. "You think that's a bright idea?"
Yes, it's a family dinner, my dear. We should at least let them see you every great now and then. Cedric go, "Dad, I'll get them." And you'll see him get on the horse and ride off to the other
By the
houses.
way, Jose, they're both clerics. Don't proselytize.
Very well.
Excellent. All right. So, do you guys get to make small talk with the parents? They tell various embarrassing stories about Draha. I, as a DM, couldn't come up with enough proper ones off the top of my head because I was building a whole crap ton of stuff this week. So I wasn't able to write a bunch of, embarrassing stories about Draha.
The only thing we have left to do is deal with when the 3 oldest show up.
Yep. The first 2 to show up were the twins with their wives.
You actually convinced somebody to marry your dumbasses.
Yeah, they smile and they laugh. One of their wives, one of the 2 twins' wives is actually pregnant.
I look at Mom, so twins are single.
She goes, "Single to my knowledge for now." But we're keeping an eye on it.
I wish her a smooth pregnancy.
And the wife thanks you for it. Things of that nature.
Looks at her brother and directly says, "And I hope the child has a hell of a lot more brains than you do."
He does try to defend himself a little bit, but Cedric does give him some grief too about being an idiot. The oldest shows up a little later. He's in robes of Shayla. And he apologizes. He goes, "Sorry I'm late. The temple needed me."
You finally pulled your head out of your ass.
Amongst other things, several things happened while you were gone that allowed me to see the light of faith. So I do my best to help others.
She just glares at him.
Draha's mom basically looks at him and goes, Yes, he's he's training to be a proper cleric. He's gotten there a ways, but he's still got a ways to go to learn.
Well, here's hoping his future's better than his past has been.
And Cedric kind of like nudges Draha a little bit and goes, "Sis, they messed up. All right? They all acknowledge they messed up."
Yeah, they don't have to live with it on their back permanently.
Oh, quirks an eyebrow at that. But it's
I
this guy
left.
who's like,
I love my
looking
family,
around.
but I left for a reason, and I come back to visit. I didn't expect to have to deal with them. But I'm here because I love my parents, and I'm going to have a nice dinner, and that's the end of it.
Fair enough. Cedric says, goes, I plan on staying here for a while. They apparently need me in the area.
Okay, bonehead.
Yeah, by the way, you
But
guys...
she smiles when she says that to you.
The party will notice that while Cedric is the second youngest of the siblings, because Draha is the youngest, Cedric is physically the most imposing. He is the biggest.
okay.
Like, standing almost a full half a foot taller than everybody else at the table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Cedric is
Yeah,
six...
Riel took interest in him for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Cedric is 6'7". He is big. But either way, the dinner goes smoothly, unless anybody wants to do anything at this dinner.
Raha just shoots polite shit with her parents, and mostly politely with her mother, and actually heartfelt with her father.
All right, what about Belle? I noticed Faye spoke up there for a second.
As like, she would bring up a little bit about how they met Draha and whatnot, trying to figure out the best way to is like, she'll be going on about how they went to one of the rumored false tombs of Nicholas, and only to find her there as well. And Draha said that she was following the instructions of Grasp, and she's been a wonderful addition to the group ever since.
I
So
look at that and
if
go, remember that thing that was bugging the back of my brain while I left? Yeah, well, they're the reason I was getting bugged. No idea why, but yeah. Still trying to figure this out.
I'm sure you'll figure it out with time, he says. The mother smiles and kind of like leans in and looks very closely at like Rye, Belle, and Sylvana. And then she'll turn and look at Jose and V, nod and go, "You definitely have an interesting dynamic in your adventuring party, Draha."
She will catch her mother's inclinations like, yeah, married couple, and the three of them, you get used to it. It's funny. It's really funny when they get embarrassed with each other.
Yeah, she looks at...
which
Go ahead.
Belle promptly starts turning red and tries to go as small as she can.
Suddenly,
And of course, Miss Di is right behind there, just rolling her eyes.
Sylvana is now finding the food on her plate very interesting.
I probably should have mentioned my mother is highly observant, especially with connections between people. It's just one of the things that Shayla does. So yeah, I probably should have warned you that she was going to be able to figure that out real fast. Sorry about that.
And no apologies needed. As the little tomato just tries to wave it off and take a big gulp of her drink.
Yeah. All right. So the dinner goes smoothly for the most part. Like I said, laughter, stories are told, things of that nature. Consider yourselves all having at least one good story to embarrass Straha with. All right, I can write up something later this week, and I will send that to you all as a group, and you'll be able to use it to your heart's content.
Oh my. It is like, because I vague is like, we have one or two stories of our own, especially since Belle was trying so hard not to bring up the fact that the way that, well, their exact meeting involved her being ticked off because the veggie pygmy stole her frying pan. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure somebody else can bring up that part and finish it up.
Oh yeah.
She does. She then pulls the pan out of her pack and goes, "I got it back," and then proceeded to beat the pygmy to death with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. All right. So, like I said, dinner goes smoothly. I will come up with a story later for you guys to be able to use. Naturally, Draha will tell her parents to be quiet about it, but they will finish the story so that you guys have it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that.
Sounds
now.
good.
All right, and then you guys head back to the inn. When you arrive at the inn, there'll be a letter waiting for you. It is from the Kobo residence, and it is something that they request you reply to and send the reply the next day. And that is, you have two options, seeing as they can't get in touch with the Lion Clan through magic, about which methodology they can get you into Itagaya. Right.
Okay.
They have two sponsors that are willing to help. One is in the Crane clan, and one is in the Dragon clan. Rai, you would know because you're from Itagaya. The Crane clan is diplomatic. They're very good at talking. That is kind of like their whole shtick. The Dragon clan is more about crafting, and while they're decent at fighting, that is not their focus. Their focus is making the best equipment possible.
Ooh, okay.
So they are known for being fairly wealthy.
Okay.
So those are your two options. You can bring that up with the party, and you guys can figure out which sponsor you want to go with.
So a talkie type or throw money at the problem until it goes away.
And all the information that we receive is just the clan, not anything about the individuals.
The clan will assign an individual once they find when you're going to get there.
I don't know. Shit. I don't...
How does your culture respond to diplomacy versus bribery versus combat?
I am not sure.
Rai, you by the way come from a combat heavy clan.
Yeah.
So like you would be able to answer the combat side of that, which is
Yeah.
Combat is done with honor. Combat is usually duels 1-on-1, because that's what your clan is about, is dueling.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know about the other clans.
you know of them, and you have a general idea of what they do,
Yeah.
but not much more than that. Not without a knowledge local or knowledge nobility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Do you know who attacked your family?
No, I don't. I was small when this happened. And we were hiding.
So, as far as we know, we have a clan that's interested in possible further trade possibilities. I can see as the whichever clan the crafting one was.
That would be the dragon.
And
The dragon.
yeah. Or, well, if the crane is more inclined to the diplomatic, we may be dealing with a bit more intrigue.
It
But
could be.
Diplomacy might also cover our butts a little better, given we're going to a country that is. They might also be able to help explain the rules to us in a way that we might understand better, given how specific the rules for Itagaya are.
It's a lot of rules for foreigners to come.
This is still hard to gauge, considering that we are not face to face with an individual.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any particular knowledge of who the Lion Clan may be feuding with in the midst of all of this?
I mean, they're all in a war with each other.
Well, wars are rarely everyone against everyone all the time. There's probably shifting alliances.
I don't remember which, like, I remember in our last game, our Friday game, there were certain clans that were alliance to each other, right?
Yes.
But I don't know which one is the Lion Clan.
Well, you know that for the most part, let me double check something, but if memory serves, for the most part, the Lion Clan does not get along with the Scorpion Clan. And
that's
because Scorpion's all about backstabbing and all that other fun shit. It is bad. It is really bad sometimes.
But doesn't kind of everybody dislike Scorpion for that one?
Yes and no. It's hard to explain. Let's see. I know I have this somewhere. Here we go. The Lion and the Crab Clan are allied. The Crane and the Nightmare are allied. Dragon and Bear are allied. Scorpion doesn't have any allies, and Phoenix doesn't have any allies. But the reason behind that is Scorpion is a bunch of backstabbing assholes, and the Phoenix clan is very much like, we're all about mysticism and, magic and shit. We're just staying in our little strongholds. You guys can do whatever the heck you want.
AKA the closest thing to neutral that situation has.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so the clan might be yeah.
I guess it all. We'll be taking a risk either way.
Yeah. We're just gonna help my sister, and then we're just gonna then we'll have to leave.
So,
So craft or
thinking the
diplomat,
ones-
likely.
Mm-hmm.
No, Rose.
No, mommy says no. Uh,
that is just. Belle is just. This feels like a risk either way. Though she
Yes.
does look at Hedon. You can be insightful sometimes. What do you think?
What are the purpose of us going over there, other than for Rye to see her family?
Silvana speaks up and goes, to rescue Rye's sister.
It's just that the political
Do we know
theater
anything
of the
about her
place is
situation and like where she's at, who's got her?
We know that she has been sick, and we know where she is for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just we're going there to cure this curse/sickness, and then getting her out of that situation.
Okay, so hey, what clan is she surrounded by?
The Lion Clan.
And what are they known for again?
Combat.
Dueling, to be precise.
Yeah, doing combat.
All right, pretty simple. Go with the Crane clan. Get over there. Attempt to save the sister, if nothing else. Through political means, create a duel. The winner takes the sister. Done deal.
That would not. Rye, you know that won't work for one major reason.
Nope.
Outsiders, the honor shadow clause, duels and combat law. Foreigners may not issue duels, accept duels, defend honor through combat. If challenged by a citizen, the foreigner must yield. Punishment for resisting, execution without honor rights, body denied burial within Itagaya.
Okay, Rye is not an outsider.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what I said still stands.
Yeah. So Rye will go over the various laws he knows of. He's not an expert, but he'll know that
No.
foreigners are not allowed to travel freely. Foreigners
We
are.
did that parchment thing, right? That gave us all the rules.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I will copy.
Yeah.
I will copy and paste that rules to everyone here in a second.
Yeah, all it takes is a little bit of scrolling up.
Yeah.
Oh, did I already post it here?
You
Yes.
did.
On the
Yeah.
Saturday game, yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing.
When I
gotta
read
have
them, I look specifically at Jose and go,
Wow.
Jose, you cannot proselytize in Itagaya at all. It will get you killed.
Yep, there it is. Yep, I see it.
So why are we deciding on who to go with, Crane or Dragon, whenever Rye is part of a clan? Can she not, or he not, hey, they're under my protection?
Rye is not high enough rank to offer sponsorship.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we
Then
don't
why-
know who the individuals are, but we know that they're that there is someone from the Crane clan and someone from the Dragon clan that is offering to sponsor us.
Okay, and what I
I will
think
look back.
fans have Crane sponsor us, go in there, try to be political and nice about it. If it comes down to it, right, being a non-foreigner can make a duel claim. The stakes of the duel is his sister. Rye wins, we leave. If he doesn't win, we'll just kill everybody.
My dear friend, while blatant murder might seem like the easy way to get things done, it will cause some issues further down the line. And as for proselytizing, I will do as much as you assume I will. I say with a smile.
Now, I know that murder is not good,
says
but
a lot.
I know that murder is not good and murder is wrong, but what about punishment?
Ah, my dear, you hit the nail on the head. There's usually a difference.
These
between the
rules,
two.
we're not allowed to do much of anything other than kind of exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be walking on eggshells, to say the least. I can
Let's get
see.
your sister and get the hell out of Dodge.
All right. So you choose Crane.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the next morning, you send that information to the Kobo estate to let them know it's like, hey, we're gonna go with Crane. Why are you rolling Constitution? Are you drinking?
No, every night I try to get more control of my transformation.
He's practicing.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yes.
Practice makes perfect.
Yep.
All right, what country is it Belle is from?
Opus.
Belle, how do you say RSVP in Opus?
RSVP. Are you not? I thought you were from Opus as well.
Am I? I don't remember. I need to look at my feed again.
Belle is like looking at me rather concerned while she's doing her studies.
Well, it's own it. I'm like,
Well, I never heard that before, and well, it just seemed like something that fancy people say, and I'm not a fancy person.
Why do you want to issue an RSVP?
Well, the letter said that we had to respond, and I thought that's what it meant.
Oh, an RSVP is it is a request to reply, but usually the request to apply is because of an invitation to, say, a party or a meeting, something like that.
But we are going to a meeting of kinda, right?
That's true. So we have made an RSVP.
I guess I'll just never understand fancy people.
It's a lot. I admit that. There was a reason why I chose to stay in dusty libraries and play in the dirt. Lovely.
Out of character, I just wanted to say that I really wanted to make a joke about the character that spoke with the French accent being asked how her people from her country say what is essentially a French phrase.
Jaha will look at Belle and go, I prefer playing in the dirt too. Mom wanted a pretty princess. I was never going to be the pretty princess.
And it's like there is like a bit of an ink pen salute to Draha, and it's like I knew there was a reason why we got along.
Mom kept having kids until she got a daughter. Except I turned out exactly like my father.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Siblings can be rather irritating. Apologies. Carry on.
Yes, well. Parents and their expectations.
Yeah. Gotta love them. Don't have to like them.
Fair enough. I think.
So,
I
I do believe that aside, they were rather lovely.
They're wonderful people. But I still have some issues, specifically with Mom and my brothers.
Yes, you did say something about having the consequences on your back.
Yeah, some of us get to live with lifelong marks for other stupidity.
that can't be good.
Would you care to elaborate? We're
in the inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who all is in the room?
I mean, usual people who are, coming in and out doing their thing.
Let's go upstairs to one of the rooms we rented. It's easier to show you than it is to explain at this point.
Fair enough. Is that an invitation to all of us, or just us of the feminine persuasion?
Girls only.
All right. That would be Belle and Sylvana and V.
Mm-hmm. Jose. Oh no, that is like nobody else would be aware, but
Me.
yeah, you're connected to V,
Last
and I got.
I was a male.
I got connections confused. The player, Fedorian, the player got a little short-circuited there for a sec.
It happens. We all have the brain farts. Everybody gets upstairs. Draha will lock the door, and then do whatever it is magically so nobody can really eavesdrop in the room or kind of peek in where they're not supposed to, because this is one of those things that she's not happy about. So once everybody's in, she will literally go, you guys have never seen me without my shirt on. There's a reason for it. And she doesn't take off her shirt, but she'll pull up the back of it up to her shoulders. Like, she'll take off her vest and her armor plate, and then she'll literally pull the linen shirt up to her shoulders on her back, pull her hair in front of her so you can see it, and just pull it up so you can see her back. And what you'll see is vertically down her back, there are 4 long scars that look like they're straight down her back. It looks like blades went into her back and just cut straight down. and it's scarred. They are thick. They are angry. They look awful. There is no way to hide them unless she's wearing a shirt. The 3 oldest almost killed me as a kid. Teenager, but yeah.
Do your brothers need to be punished?
They got in trouble for it. They kept wrecking every time I would go try and hang out with one of my friends or a crush or whatever. So I decided to return the favor, and the twins and the oldest got mad when I told Mom that they were trying to meet their girlfriends in the barn. They threw me into I shall name whatever the device is when you go the metal plowshares, the multi-bladed plowshares.
Mm-hmm.
They threw
I know
me
what you mean.
against one of them and left me there when I hit the ground and then ran off. They all got beat to within an inch of their life by my parents. The temple barely managed to save my ass, but these are permanent. They can't heal them away. It was too bad. I was too far gone when they got to me to make the scars not be there. There's no way to get rid of them at this point.
Draha, I know how to punish people if you want me to punish your brothers.
I don't have to see them often. My parents made sure they paid for it. I just don't like my brothers anymore. Cedric's the only one I tolerate because he wasn't there when it happened. He was there when they started it, and he took off because he didn't want any part of what was going on. I'm more mad at him for running off and letting me get hurt. They're the ones I don't like, but at this point, it was so long ago. I just don't like them, and I don't hang out with them. I come back to see my parents, and my brothers are fine. They're doing their own thing. They're making amends in their own ways. I don't deal with them, and I'm never going to live near my parents. When I finally settle down, I'm probably going to settle down some random place opposite end of the world. Like, it's not worth the effort or the time or anything else. I just don't deal with them. It's not worth the headache. But it is what it is. The oldest one is going to spend the rest of his life making amends through the church. The 2 younger ones, the twins, from what my mom's told me, she's making sure they pay for it forever as well, just in a different way. And I'm more afraid of what my mom's gonna do to them than anybody else for the rest of their lives, because Mom can be scary when Mom's not happy. And you see Jawhawk do the full body twitch.
Well, this certainly casts a different light on things.
Well, the offer is always there if you want it.
Thank
Wait.
you, but I'm good. But
Yeah,
for love of
the
God,
Miss Kaya is
please
doing
don't
the
tell me
equip.
what my back looks like.
Fair. Is like there are some that would encourage you to reclaim it for yourself, but it is your decision.
It's just one of those things that it's just, I prefer keeping them covered up because they're just, it's not comfortable when anything touches them, honestly, still, because it's scar tissue. Like, they get irritated easy, which is why I always have the shirt on, because it's a barrier between everything and them so they don't get angry.
Fair.
Also, sunlight on scars makes scars worse.
I'll take your word for it. Well, it is
It is what
And
it is
you-
at this point, but it's just one of those things. Explain why I never took my shirt off in the bathhouse now? As she drops it and puts her armor plate back on.
Belle just. There are varying levels of comfort with the body. It didn't really occur to me.
Most people, if they see scars like that, are gonna start asking a lot of questions, especially given the fact that I'm a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a family of clerics. It's one of those questions that one question leads to 100 questions, and it's not something I feel like answering every time someone sees my back.
Right. And I spend as little time in Opus as I can for a reason as well.
I have a feeling that nobody in our group has a happy parental family relationship.
Oh, I get along great with my dad. My dad, as soon as he found out what happened, damn near beat the three of them to death for it. But it's just one of those things. I love my father to death. He's my favorite human in the world. But I tolerate the others because that's what you do.
All right.
I can at least say that I was fortunate with not facing a situation like that with my own brothers, and I do love them as well, but things are complicated with my family.
Isn't it? Kind of guess it's that way for all of us at this point. But let's go down and get to the boys before we leave them to do anything dumb.
Yeah, I have a sinking suspicion. How soundproofed was this? I say as I go to the door.
Could have been magically soundproofed, so they shouldn't have been able to listen through too well.
Not really.
Yeah,
I was not even trying to
I don't
listen
think.
in.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anybody was listening.
No.
it's like either way, Belle reaches towards the door handle, and Miss Daae just does that whole pushes herself through and goes boo at anybody who's in the hallway.
It's an empty hallway.
I don't know. Miss Daae may be frightening some poor innocent individual.
Yeah, there's like some worker just like walking down the street with like a pile of like sheets or something, and Miss Daae just looks and goes boo, and they're like, like run.
Yeah.
and is like, let's Miss Daae look around, and as Miss Daae lets Belle see that, but Miss Daae has a wicked grin on her face when she slips back.
Who did you scare?
Some poor laundry person. I think, tread carefully, I think they left at least their bundle behind. I don't know if they left any other remains or leavings. And she covers her nose as she opens the door.
No, they didn't crap themselves. They just panicked and ran.
The nice part about being in a city that has a lot of magic bullshit in it is they don't tend to pee their pants when they see weird shit. They just tend to run.
Yeah.
All right, so boys, while the girls are upstairs, are you doing anything other than eating and drinking?
Yes.
Oh no.
I haven't even started and already you're going, oh no. Love it. I will turn to Hedan and a certain someone else, and I'll remark, so, while the ladies are off, What shall we do, huh? Play a few games of rigged cards? Whoops, did I say that out loud? Oh, dear me.
No, I'm just working on my transformation.
Ah, you will likely need to concentrate on that. Well then, that leaves you and me, right?
No, thank you.
Head up. What was that?
I said no, thank you.
Oh, you haven't even heard my offer yet.
I don't want to hear it. Ryan's just really annoyed now.
Oh, right, you wound me. But, nonetheless, I understand. I shall skedaddle with the prattle on my own, then.
Oh no. A chill went down went down Belle's spine.
I go out to bites on the streets, and...
What did I just miss? I ran to the bathroom.
Jose is wandering around unsupervised.
Yep.
Draha just gets this.
No,
Not my problem. Not my problem right now.
I do a little looking around. Do I spot any religious places or anything like that nearby?
Yes, you do.
Just how religious are they? Like lip service or genuine belief?
It was the temple conclave, so it's a collection of temples.
I will start skedaddling around each of them. I won't be saying anything. I'll just wander around looking at some of the doodads and stuff that they have on sale and whatever else they have for people to convert or join up or whatever it is they have. If there's one to Nuketna, I will stop at that and start conversing.
All right.
What do you want me to rule? Should I rule something for that, or?
Go ahead and roll me knowledge religion. All right, so with a 19, you do find a small shrine to Amnuketna. You're able to pray to Amnuketna, get some prayers in, things of that nature.
May I
spot
do?
anyone familiar? What was that?
It's like you first.
Do I spot any familiar faces or anything?
Did Belle go to pray to Amnuketna at the temple?
Is it nighttime yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would be doing some stuff there. Since there is an actual shrine there. Though she would prefer to be outside because most of her nighttime stuff includes doing astrology stuff and whatnot.
How well kept is the shrine?
Yeah, it's decently kept. It's not like, it's not like unkept, but it's not the most focused shrine here.
Yeah.
I will
would
go up to the
say-
leader.
Oh, right. And this is while we're having the girl time, so Belle wouldn't be there.
I will go up to the one who's keeping the shrine and simply state, use her. Tell me, how long has this shrine been here?
For the most part, it's been there for a while. It's just, like I said, it was never the focused shrine here, but it was, like, it's still maintained.
I would assume there's like a single priest that takes care of it then? Or would it be something else?
No, it'd be like a collection of, like, priests and lay people that help take care of it.
Then I go up to the nearest priest and I state, I require the information on where the other priests of Amnuketna are. I am an inquisitor of Amnuketna, and to show that I mean no hostility toward you, here's a single platinum.
They're grateful for, you know, the platinum, and they'll be like, I can look, but I don't think we have anybody of significant rank of Amnuketna in the area, sir. It's...
I don't care.
If you give me some time,
I do not care in the slightest. Acquire them as quickly as you can, please.
Alright,
My time in this city is limited.
I will attempt to go find the first priest of Amnuketna I can find. And he will send out, like, a messenger person to go look for it.
Alright. I will then begin, like, sitting at the shrine, going over some of the star locations and things like that. As I wait.
If I may,
Um,
while he's waiting and doing this,
yep.
is like while you are doing your prayers, you hear a little quiet little gallop and sniff, sniff, sniff. Ooh.
I know you're
And you
there.
turn-
You may as well announce yourself.
And you get a bit of a ruff as you turn. You see a corgi about the size, nearing the size. Well, it's about as big as you. If it weren't for the fact that she was on all fours, and
I'm just going to look at this corgi.
And she
I go,
is blinked out and has a set of, well, it looks like metallic wings on what looks like a really fancy saddle on her back.
You know, at first I thought you were Hidan, but... well... Hidan is... not as cute looking.
And you get the equivalent of a dog sneeze, and she does an all-over shake. And from behind her,
you agree he's not that cute, not as cute as you.
is like, and you see not far behind her a gnome with bright orange hair and wearing fairly simple robes at the time, a symbol of Astreos on around their neck. Go, oh, sorry about that. This is Coral. She's my celestial seed. She likes to check things out. I'm Devi Citrine. Nice to meet you. And
And
puts out a
you.
handshake.
I take the hand and I remark, tell me, do you have any titles? Just so that I don't unintentionally commit a breach of etiquette.
I'm an academy graduate. but
The
I think
meetings
that's
Academy,
about
right?
it. Yeah, I technically am not a part of any real orders, so I just serve Astreos as best I can and try to make the unknown a little less scary for people.
A philosophy the great Anu Ketner would approve of. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Wise, I didn't catch your name, mister.
I am Jose, proud husband, resident lunatic of one rather fabulous party. Though if you ask me, my wife's more fabulous than all the rest put together. But from what I'm told, opinions may differ on that.
Yeah, that's the way it usually goes. I mean, it's like in Team Autumn, it's like get along better with some than others. I've got a couple of silver dryads. I have to strain my neck to see their faces, and they're really quiet, but for the most part, they're really nice. Marius, well, he can be grumpy. And I gotta make sure that he gets some sleep at sometimes, even though he does his best to try to avoid it. But somebody has to take care of the team. And there's like a almost autumn reflexive sort of thing where they tap on their chest. Yeah. But like I said, that I just do my best.
A wise decision. And may I say, if you continue down this path, I do believe a bright future is ahead of you. That is to say, I was once considered a monster by my locals, whose only interest was in beating the religious. And yet, look at me now, at a shrine to a god of teaching, genuinely, fervently believing.
Wow.
Funny how times change.
Well, it's important to learn something new, because there's always something you don't know not too far away.
Ooh, very true. I learned there's at least one god who will answer a prayer, and became a fervent follower. But enough about me. If you'll give me just a moment, I must inquire of a priest as to where his brethren are. Feel free to come along if you want.
Oh, it's my turn to clean up and dust and everything. But you have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Or night.
And I'll just wander forward. Technically speaking, depending on the time, you could actually say day. But with the whole clock being of 12 hours and all.
Yeah, but we did establish that it was nighttime, and it's like you get the feeling that
What I was trying to hint,
They
what
were
I'm
talking
trying to say,
about-
my dear friend,
right? Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, my dear friend, is it could be well past 12 for all either of us knows. I don't really bother keeping track of time. I have a stopwatch, but well, stopwatch doesn't really tell it. You know what a stopwatch is. If you'll excuse me, I've got to go pester a priest. Until we meet again, and by the by, continue on. I'm certain your success will see you thriving in more ways than one.
Be brave in your journey.
With that, I turn and bow, and I state, and you! Oh, and by the by, that is a marvelous steed. goodbye. As I go
Yeah,
straight to the priest, and I like.
Is like, and Coral's like stands chest out, head high, and is like, and you hear Devi go, "Oh, doesn't she know it?"
All right.
I'll go straight to the priest, wrap my arm around him, and go, "Your boy is taking quite some time. I'd hate to think you've tried to con me out of my money."
No, sir. Sir, he takes some time. And then, so what ends up happening is, he goes out and finds someone. In particular, Belle, you're the one who they found.
It must have been right after everybody came out of their little meeting.
Well, I mean, this was a while because it took them a while to find something. Basically, like they this poor kid was just running around trying to find a priest of Amnuketna, and you were the first one they found.
And it's like, depending on how excited or desperate this kid comes across, is like, oh, okay. Is this the kid that was given the coin to find somebody, or is this just, there's a person looking for a priest of Amuketna, and it sounds really important and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's just a kid running around, like, saying that they're looking for a priest of Amnuketna, like.
Okay. It's like, all right. Tell the others where she's going and let the kid lead her.
All right, and you're led back to the like the main temple of the area, and the kid will go like Father Lyran, I found a priestess of Amnuketna here, and like he kind of slightly shoves Belle forward, and the gentleman goes, we have a gentleman here who is looking for a priest or priestess of Amnuketna here, and he points to Jose.
I'm just going to look over and go, "Oh."
Yes, I'll see what I can do about this. So, Inquisitor.
I was going to offer platinum, specifically 13 platinum, to help the shrine be maintained and upgraded, but somehow I doubt you'll have the time to stay here and do so.
She points at a collection box. They keep those there for a reason.
Yes, I'm well aware. But giving it in person has a more direct touch, don't you think? As opposed to a who donated this? Who donated that?
Well, this is a collective shrine, so it is the one particularly to Amuketna seems rather small, considering that one of the main interests here is education and a great deal of magic. But, well, the population builds as they see fit.
It's at this point Jose will actually turn around and drop the money in the box and simply states, "So, shall we depart?"
If you wish. This does give me the opportunity to lay a few offerings that I had prepared at the shrine. Would you like to witness a Sahiran style ritual?
Certainly. Go ahead.
Well, and she'll basically describe a few steps and whatnot, and of course she'll explain that the chant that she's going to do while in Sahiran, you may find familiar, and it is basically some recitations of basically to keeping the mind and the senses open so that we can better process our wits and to open our hearts to the wisdom that magic brings, and basically supplications for strength of mind and heart. And as she's doing this, she's also has some things that she has folded that are essentially the offerings are basically bits of information that has been learned, and at a certain hour at the night, typically whoever is tending to the shrine will take them, burn them as offerings, and when the dawn comes, the ashes will be scattered. And if the goddess is willing, during the night, they will the person supplicating will either witness in the stars certain constellations, which they would use their knowledge to interpret, and if not their own knowledge, they would go to, say, somebody like Belle to interpret it, or possibly have a vision in their dreams with which the information will likewise be interpreted. And let's see. And this, of course, is all with Belle's signature super awkwardness. But once she gets into actually performing the ritual and whatnot, you see that it is something that's really second nature to her. And she kind of forgets that she's being witnessed for a while.
Jose will not say anything at first. He will stay quiet for time. Once he sees you've gotten to the point where you've genuinely forgotten there's anyone there, he'll politely go, because it's going to be odd if he just stands there completely silent. But seeing your devotion, and you've clearly put a great deal of thought into this and so forth, once you're finished, he will remark, usually I make it a point not to observe other people's rituals to Amnuketna or anyone else. I'm glad you've shown me that, though.
This is
Tell me,
done.
how often? Go ahead.
This was a weekly ritual that I would perform with my grandmother growing up. When I joined into the service, I began performing these rituals pretty much nightly. But it's not often that I can have the comfort of proper shrine.
If I may, and I hope this is not too far a stretch, consider the following. Both of us worship the same deity. I have made a point of going around this in as bonkers a manner as I can physically think to do. Your way is more studied, more suited. I propose that between the two of us, someone ensured we would cross paths.
Indeed.
I see V as my absolute blessing. I've mentioned this before, I believe. Let me see here. I think the exact wording was V is my blessing from Aunuketna. It's not that I think she literally blessed me with V. I don't believe that for a moment. Too many other deities would likely have an issue with me for anyone to be blessing me. However, she saw me and still wanted to engage in me despite my lunacy, my deliberately as bonkers, as loony as I could possibly make myself, and yet still she chose not only to stay and stick around as a friend, but one night we got to chatting, and it turned out she had a little more than just friendship in mind for me. To say I was stunned is putting it mildly. I was not sure what to say or what to do for some time. Though I think you have had something similar with your own... I'm unsure how to phrase this.
The terms I know for it are not considered polite. But it is an evolving situation that...
Triad?
The one that immediately comes in mind is Menage a Trois, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, in any case, go ahead.
Well, you'll be surprised that, well, mostly I've thought these things were more the stuff of stories. But
am I to assume?
I endeavor to learn from it. Yes, we can
Am
learn
I
from
to
every
assume?
relationship.
Stop, please. I need direct information before I say anything further. Am I to assume that this means you think your heart is tied to another, that the breath in your lungs you would give to another? Is that what you're trying to tell me, or have I misinterpreted what you were saying?
I would say that there is something important to learn from each relationship, no matter what style it might be. Whether it is on a sort of combative friendship between the two, such as between the two of us. A more comradely sort of friendship that, well, I think all of us share in general in the group.
I ask because if you truly do feel your heart belongs to another, you need to be very careful. I openly state that V is my blessing, not because she is a blessing, which, don't get me wrong, she absolutely is, and in more ways than I could ever imagine. But in her, I see the hope I wish I could acquire. The hope I long to have. But I'm not blind. I know full well this is something that if I truly want to achieve, the amount of work involved is going to be staggering. I don't know how you feel about your other members, but there comes a certain point where your mind begins to question you. You begin to wonder, if I do this or that, you stop thinking about the deity we both worship and you start wondering, would my mate, or in your case, mates, find it pleasing? I seek to please V as much as I can. I do not mean that in a sexual manner. Well, I mean, okay, yeah.
I get the
discussing my love life
general.
with you.
Yes. I understand that. Yes. Are you talking about? Are you talking about the priority of our service?
Yes. Yes. At a certain point, our service begins to match levels with those we feel genuine love for. At that point, in my case, the bonkers lunacy started coming easy. Anything that would make V smile or even laugh, I started giving myself fully to. Why do you think I'm so quick to change my opinion? So quick to jump from one loony idea to another eccentric one? Because I know full
So you're
well there's a
telling
chance
me-
it makes her smile.
So there is a few brain cells in there, I say, and I tap at you at the top of your head.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm out, guys. I gotta work in the morning.
All right, later,
All right.
guy.
All right. I hope he didn't. Well, anyway, I will carry on. Why, you wound me. But yes, I do have a brain, believe it or not.
Yes, I do recall at one point that, well, there was some hijinks on a boat at some point. But, yes.
I can neither
this
confirm nor
explains why
deny
I
the.
did it.
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of hijinks on a boat or anywhere else. That being the case, if you happen to see someone claiming to be my brother, inform me and don't tell him you've seen me or you know me or that I'm anywhere near him. If you would. V already knows to keep my dear brother at arm's length.
Oh my.
I wonder where that phrase comes from. Arm's length. It's not very far, is it? I mean, your leg's kind of longer. Wouldn't legs length be better?
there's something about keeping a certain distance, but acknowledging that still close enough to have some control over the situation.
Well, in any case, I have donated. If any of your rituals are too private for anyone to be nearby, may I suggest we skedaddle home?
Well, all that is left to do is, to turn in for the night and see whether or not our dearest Samuketna will be blessing me with any knowledge this night.
About that, mind if I ask you something a bit private?
I suppose so.
How did you come to the idea that Anuketna was the one you wanted to follow?
In the test of experience, it was what stayed. No matter what I ran into in life growing up, my father took very stern steps to ensure that all deities were respected. But it's just, it was as much what made me me. In a lot of ways, I'll be exploring that for the rest of my life. Hopefully for a very long time. There's a lot to learn.
Oh, indeed. And the best part is, there's always more to learn. You never need to stop. Did you know that, theoretically speaking, some can memorize entire books to the point they can tell you what page and paragraph a line of that book is from? Amazing how the brain works, isn't it?
Yes, and it works best when everyone's reading the same book. Idiosyncrasies
Personally, I
of
prefer to
writings and page thickness and whatnot. It can throw stuff like that off. As Belle proceeds to rattle off, a sort of rhymey, sort of long-winded speech, which technically word for word she gets correct, but
I do take your point.
yeah, she performs rather well.
Decent roll.
Yeah.
So, like, or
I'm thinking something Shakespearean. One of the sonnets or something. You might recognize it from something V might also quote.
I know that. V remarks on it at times. Ken, how long did you say game was going to last for tonight? Because I just realized we're nearly half two.
Yeah, once your scene is done, then I'll say it's a good point to stop.
Okay.
Then I'm happy to end the scene here where
All right.
I just
Yeah.
state, well then, let us return to our associates. I wonder if there's a certain someone has wanted to throw her pan at my head yet. And with that, the guy end.
All right.
Yeah, I pause. Once we step outside, I pause to look around, have a bit of a knowing grin afterwards, and go, I think she might be proud of you tonight.
All right. I I feel like that was a great game. Guy had to leave a little early. But thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate you all being here. I think we had a blast tonight with game. I hope everybody who watches it enjoys it. So join us in 2 weeks, which will be the 31st, will be the next game, where the party will finally get to go to Itagaya. So we'll be taking care of that. So those of you who are in the tavern, please, excuse me, take care of yourselves mentally, physically. That's always important. I know you guys all come to my wonderful, resplendent tavern for the witty banter, but you stayed to light this place on fire and to throw facehuggers around. So I hope to see you all soon again, or you see us again soon. Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.